Narrative plays a very important role in philosophy for children. First of all, because narrative plays a special role in the lives of children themselves. A narrative develops like a child. It almost thinks like a child because the author is thinking through the story, and we read his thinking as we read the page, his or her thinking. We're interested in how the child develops, how the child turns out. We're interested in how the narrative turns out. So there's a community of feeling. There's a rapprochement of relationships between stories and children. Now, the stories we use, like most stories, have characters in them, and the characters in every episode are children. I don't think in all the books there is an episode in which adults are shown talking without the presence of children. The children are always finding themselves faced with problems, but they're not fantastic problems. They're everyday problems, everyday difficulties. And the children discuss these problems and try to be reasonable about them and to come to reasonable judgments about them. So we are in effect presenting a different model of the child to the child. The model of the reasonable child is different from the model of the emotional child or the violent child or the active child. In other words, in children's literature, ordinary children's literature or television, almost never do you see the reasonable child as the model of childhood. And yet we have to have such a model because children usually will not engage in a certain kind of behavior that we want them to engage in unless we show them a model of it first. And so the novel plays this kind of role. It also is a model to the child of how reasonable children talk about things together, how they conduct reasonable dialogues, how they listen to each other, how they respect one another, how they enter into the dialogue at the appropriate moment, or what they judge as the appropriate moment. There are many ethical characteristics of the dialogue that children are taught simply by participating in classroom discussion. But in any case, narrative